got another little rather beat up plane here. Notice that it's Canadian. It has a Canadian ID on it. You can buy these from a couple of places. The design of the plane is Polish. It's a Wilga 2000. Then you can buy fancier versions of it than this. This is kind of the cheap foamy version of the Wilga 2000. And it's been hammered around a bit, mine. And the floats, it has the floats on. The floats are not very stable. And I did a bit of work on the floats. I resealed them as they're hollow foam. I resealed them all round with glue so that, if you put it on water, they don't fill up with water and whatever. And I've crashed him a few times. There's a company that still makes this plane, or still has parts for it anyway, up in Thunder Bay. And I ordered some extra parts for him because I've replaced several parts. I've replaced the cowling and the motor mount and a number of things with him. I've had him for a while. In fact, he's actually plane number 1 in my DX9. He was the first plane I put into my DX9 when I got it. And I've had him for longer than I've had the DX9. I was originally trying to fly him. I bought him at a swap meet. I was originally trying to fly him on 2-cell batteries. The people in Thunder Bay who sell him said that they feel his standard battery should be a 3-cell. And in fact, I bought 2 or 3 of the 3-cell batteries they specifically sell for, and that's what he's got in now. He's got a 3-cell battery. Smallish, about 3-cell 1100 milliamp hour or something like that. I don't remember exactly the capacity, but it's a kind of smallish 3-cell battery. And that's what they recommended. Gives him a little bit more power.
Throttle cut off.
And a 3-bladed propeller. Still doesn't have much power though. Whoa. Because the grass is, I don't know, having a bit of trouble getting him to run on the grass there. Well, they're not good floats. Yeah, the floats are splaying. Oh, I don't know, this is ridiculous. Can we not stop them doing that? I don't know. Whoa, no. Because the floats, the problem is there's no cross piece on the floats, so they're just splaying out. I don't remember them doing that before, mind you, but I don't know. Oh, go on. Well, of course, if the floats splay out like that, it's not going to go, is it? I don't know.
Throttle cut off.
But I've flown it before and they didn't do that. I mean, they should have a cross piece. I mean, who makes floats without any kind of cross brace? Who makes floats with no cross brace? Mind you, of course, floats. I've tried them on the snow as well. Floats, true floats are not made for running on the ground, but still.
Throttle cut off. Throttle cut on.
Okay, the red-green school of flying. Let's see what we can do. Ooh, I don't know this. I don't know whether I can even get a long piece of this tape. I wanted a long piece of tape, but this tape is kind of over. It's kind of old tape, and it doesn't really want to give me a long piece. I told you we were looking at the red-green school of flying here. We're just going to see if we can brace the floats a little enough with tape to get him moving. It's almost the end of the tape, I mean. I don't know. Who knows? I've got another thing of tape in the car, but That's an old thing of tape that's a bit on its last legs, but we'll see. Now, of course, that of course is going to create some extra drag. I've taken this guy off the grass with these floats before, and I don't remember having that problem, but I've taken him off the grass with wheels as well. I think more with wheels, probably, but I'm sure I've taken him off with floats before.
Throttle cut off.
Let's see if that works. Whoa. Pretty shaky, but yes, it got him off. Got a little bit of oscillation and vibration in the floats there before. They're just so springy and there's nothing really supporting them. Well, okay, in fairness, they're meant for water, they're not meant for grass. Most floats will work okay on grass, but, that's not what they're meant for. The very first time I tried the floats was on snow, and
6 minutes.
I managed to crash him then. I found him, he was very tail heavy. I found him very tail heavy initially as well. I've got a bunch of lead on his nose now. I don't remember, I'd have to look out to tell you how much, but there's a bunch of lead on his nose, which I found necessary to get him to balance in a reasonable way. The other thing about him is the wings are not very strong. I mean, I know people have ripped the wings off these completely in flight, and I could see how you could do it fairly easily. I'm a bit leery about even trying to loop him because you might just rip the wings off. You certainly don't want to be putting too much strain on him because they don't have any kind. They have a carbon fiber rod, but it's a pretty thin carbon fiber rod, and otherwise he's what was I going to say? He's there's a gentle loop. We're just trying, but you can see the wings flexing. I don't think it's a good idea. I could see the wings flexing there as I came out of the loop. Yeah. Yes, I don't think we'll. I can see why. I've seen reports online of people saying that they ripped the wings right off him in flight. They're not. They would be better off if they had some kind of strut or something, some kind of bracing. Or either that or a more substantial carbon fiber rod. And they're two halves as well, they're not even one piece. They're two half wings held on with screws in the middle with a kind of carbon fiber rod through them. Also, obviously it doesn't help this guy's been crashed quite a few times and repaired. For one thing, as I said, I crashed him 2 or 3 times just because he was so tail heavy initially and I couldn't control him. Until I put the weight on the wing, on the nose. And then, he's flown not too badly since I put the weight on the nose. But he's not what you would call a robust plane by anybody's standards. One thing I don't notice, I thought maybe he would feel, dragged down with that tape underneath, because that tape, that piece of 3/4 inch tape going across between the floats has got to be imposing some extra drag underneath. But I can't say that I really notice it all that much. I'm wondering, although I don't know. I'm thinking I'm hoping if the weather's good, I'm going to go to the float fly next week, and I'm wondering whether I might try and take this guy. I'm definitely going to take the Valiant. I want to try him off. I thought I might take that Cessna, but not the way it's behaving now. Now I'll probably take the UMX-J3 Carb, maybe the Hobby King Skipper, because he doesn't take too much room, and he's a good water play in flying boat sort of thing. I thought I might squeeze this guy in, because I like flying the Timber and the Apprentice off water as well, but I wouldn't be able to get them in with the Valiant, I don't think. Actually, I might be able, well, no, not with the floats on. I was going to say I might be able to get the Apprentice in because I take the wing off the Apprentice, but I might be able to get the Apprentice in. More easy to get the apprentice in than the timber, because I don't want to take the wing off the timber particularly, but I always take the wing off the apprentice. It's just held on by rubber bands. I always take the wing off the apprentice. I don't know that it would even go in my car without taking the wing off. Wind's getting up a teeny bit now. I always take the wing off the apprentice to transport it.
Remaining 2 minutes.
And I've got the floats for it. Oh, I think we'll bring him into land now. He doesn't seem to have much power left. No point pushing him to the last minute. And you never know. Sometimes you want to go round again anyway. But see if we can land him as gently as possible. Ugh. Kangaroo floats. So he doesn't put too much stress on those floats. Well, we'll see. And of course, I mean, you wouldn't get that kind of so much resistance on the floats in water, presumably. I mean, you know, you could still get resistance, I don't know how, but you wouldn't get as much resistance as you're getting on the grass, so they would probably not have so much tendency to splay, and you could build up the speed a bit more gradually on the water. You know, as long as once you get him moving, you just gently. So it might work okay on the water. I think his sticker's coming off there. We'll see. So he might get an outing on water next week. We'll see, but I'm not sure. So, this is the battery. It's not even an 1100. It's an 850 milliamp hour 25C 3-cell, so very small. We flew him for about just under 5.5 minutes there, and the 850 milliamp hour battery is reading 11.4, 3.7, 8, 9, 3.79, 3.79. So, you know, that's about as far as you'd want to take. So, you know, the timer's about, well, the timer's maybe even a bit long, because I had a minute 30 something left. I don't know whether you could have probably thrown him for another minute and 30 without him cutting off or whatever, but whether you'd really want to, I don't know on this. Perhaps not. But I expect you could have flown him to the full length of the battery without him actually cutting out.